giving me wind and rain. You're some kind of butterfly. Baby, you give me midnight. You whip up my appetite. Don't leave me here high and dry.
God, these bolts are driving me nuts. Hey guys, it's Kent here with the Modern Electric Garage. I want to get you caught up on the nut and bolt situation, and we'll talk about some other things. Stay tuned. I'm going to do something about my frustrations with the nuts and bolts. I'm a grown man now, and I can afford stuff, and I'm sick and tired of running back and forth to the store 4 or 5 miles away, traffic lights, things of that nature. So let me show you what I've done. All right, so let me kind of explain what I did here. You know, I had that frustration of not having all the stuff sorted. So when one of my many trips back and forth to the hardware store, I was at a bigger hardware store that a little bit further away from our town, and they had a couple of these sitting around. Like, oh my gosh, that's really cool. I really wish I could have those, but they were overpriced. And my wife had to look it on the internet, and she found a deal on them, and she bought them for me. And so this has really changed the way that I think about nuts and bolts now, because this is really helpful. So what I did is I started sorting, had a big box, a bunch of little Ziploc bags of this and that, and brown paper sacks where I made all the different runs. And so I started sorting, and it's kind of simple. If it doesn't fit here, then it's going to fit back here. Okay, blah blah blah. So I started bagging and tagging things, and then once I had all that done, I could tell within the first 2 or 3 weeks that just the gas expense from running back and forth into town saved me enough money that paid for these. They paid for themselves, as they say. And it was just a short period of time. We're in the middle of building a 1953 5-window Chevy pickup truck. We're putting it on a S10 pickup chassis. Then we airbagged it. The S10 was all metric, basically. And of course, the old 53 was the standard. And so, that's how this frustration started, was that big project. And of course, we put a LS engine in it. Therefore, it had metric and standard with the pulleys. And I mean, it was really frustrating. So just in the first couple weeks, the gas savings, and not to even mention all the time it takes. When you live in a neighborhood like we do that's not really close to a hardware store, it's we're going to town. Okay, well, we're in town. Let's go by and pick up the cleaners, and let's pick up some bread and milk and all that. So it ends up being an hour round trip, basically, when I have to go get a nut or a bolt. So then when I got it all sorted, had it all bagged up, I decided, what am I going to do next? So got to looking on the internet, and I found these bins. And I know it looks kind of flimsy or whatever, but really they're not. They're kind of sturdy plastic. It's not something that maybe an auto mechanic shop would want to have in their place, but for home hobbyists and people like myself, this is a good choice. And they come in a variety of styles. This particular brand, this is a 64, and then they have a half small bins and half larger bins. The small bins have dividers for the centers. All right, let me kind of show you what I've decided to do. You may like this. You can do your own deal. But I want to go with number 6, number 8, 10, 12. Then we jump into the fractions. Quarter. So in quarter, there's a 28 thread count fine, and then there's a 20 count coarse. So since these dividers are in the middle, what I'm able to do is to do 1/4 inch 28 fine nut. In the front, I'm going to have a regular nut, and in the back of all of them, I'm going to have a nylock. Okay, I love those nylocks. So that's the fines, and then the courses will be the next one. So 1420 course, same thing. I'm going to have the regular nuts in the front and the nylocks in the back. Okay. Then the washers, 1/4 inch washers, I'm going to do flats in the front and split lock washers in the back on all of them. So all these will be washers. Then when you get into the bolts, all I have to do is go 1/4 inch by 1/2 inch. And in the front, I'll have the 1/4 by 20 by 1/2 inch course. And in the back, I'll have the 1/4 by 28 by 1/2 inch fines in the back. And I'll do that all the way across for the length of 3/4 inch, 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch, and 1.5 inches. And that's what I plan to do all the way up and down. This is mountable. It'll mount to the wall. There's some 4 mounting points on the back. It's going to be too tippy just to leave on the countertop or whatever. So I think I'll buy a second unit for the metric stuff, and then I'll be as organized as I need to be. Any kind of specialty fasteners that need to be purchased, I'm not going to try to keep all those, but I frequently used all of this and all the metric. After I get everything sorted, I realized I didn't have a lot of metric stuff, and just about everything now is metric. So I'm old school, you know, and I've got to adapt now, and I'm going to have it all available here. The other thing that I wanted y'all to be aware of is once I get this built out, I'm going to make notes of what I need to go purchase so that I'll have everything. And the nice thing about this one place is they sell nuts and bolts by the pound. So I'm going to take a wad of empty Ziploc bags where I've already written on it what I need, and the items that I use frequently, I'll buy, you know, maybe a handful of those, and the things that I seldomly use, I'll buy maybe 10 or 12 units of each of those. I don't use a lot of fine stuff, but I'll have it here if I need it. And so we'll get it all bagged up. It'll already be tagged. I can put it in that and buy it by the pound. And that's Tractor Supply. If you didn't know that, you're welcome, because you can get a good deal there by buying it by the pound and only buying what you want instead of having to buy the 25 packs, the 50 pack. Once you start doing these 100 packs of things, it gets expensive, and I'm a hobbyist. I'm not doing this for a living, and I don't need 400 of something that I maybe could get by with 25 or whatever in a little bin. If I have a big project that's going to take a bunch of them, I'm going to have to buy them anyway. So that's what I'm doing. Also, there's little kits that you can pick up. This came from O'Reilly's. This is some grade 8s. I went to a car show in Daytona Beach at Thanksgiving called the Turkey Run, and O'Reilly's had a vendor tent set up, and they gave away little $5 off on the $10 purchase cards. So this was a little over $10. I had the $5 card. I bought this basically for $6. That's amazing. So I'll sort that out somewhere. Alrighty. So in closing, I just want to share with you a little bit about what's going on with Wesley, my son. As you know, that he and I had been prototyping some bicycle parts. We bought a laser, did some laser engraving, recently made some chain covers out of leather for the 53 truck. Got another video on that. I may post a link to that here. But anyway, Wesley and I are going to expand his hobby business into a business. And we were in the process of trying to get a building built out on this property. And got to jump through a bunch of hoops to get a building permit out in the country. It's just incredible. Just because you're in a county, they just feel like they own you, you know. So anyway, we jumped through all those hoops, got the permit, and then the rain set in. So we've not been able to pour the slab. The building's been ordered. They can't bring it to the slabs. They're yada, 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 yada. Man, it's amazing trying to do something nowadays. But once it gets up, we'll move the Trotec laser out of its location now, move it in the building, along with several 3D printers, vinyl cutter. We're going to have a water jet, and we've got a UV printer that will be coming as well. So he's going to get into a lot more stuff. He's got a little Etsy page, and he sells already on eBay a lot of his products. So I thought, you know, at my age, I can help the boy out, and he's never embarrassed me. I'm very, very proud of him, and I'll post some of his works and stuff in the future. All right, that's it. I want y'all to like, subscribe, share it with a few people. I'm going to put those affiliate links for the storage bins as well as the gauges. Don't forget about Tractor Supply, being able to buy the nuts and bolts there in bulk by the pound. And we'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.